I don't even know where to start, guys. First off, I'm extremely grateful to not only the community, but definitely our staff. Our staff has done an extremely awesome job on keeping things together and acting extremely professional, as well as working on cue and getting things done exactly when they're supposed to. So just to kind of start off. Thank you guys.
Greatest
ACFI! Woo!
Hashtag okay.
Okay.
So, alright, so just to start off, first off, I just want to make sure that everybody knows, man, I'm extremely grateful for the community because I know that I may be up here as a con chair trying to make this happen for you guys, but without you guys, none of this could be possible. So I want everybody to give each other and yourselves a round of applause as well as a pat on the back. So thank you very much. I mean, because again, without you, this couldn't be possible and this wouldn't have happened. So to get us started, I want to introduce some of our staff. A lot of them are probably doing things downstairs, so they may not be present to actually come up here so you can kind of see some faces. And just to kind of go over a few of our staff members. First off, I want to go with Havelock. So when this thing first began, back in February of 2015, you probably all saw the posts when we were meeting in the gyms and we were trying to get together and figure out how we were going to do this. And started off with about 12 of us. Slowly kind of dwindled down to where it was just Havelock and myself. And we got Furry on board as our convention artist. And so Furry and Havelock I am extremely grateful towards because they have stuck with me with this thing from the very beginning, thick and thin, up and down. It's been crazy, I won't lie. There's been a lot of craziness going on, but without their help, especially Havelock's advice and experience in running and working at conventions, as well as Thorgy's extreme knowledge, or vast knowledge when it comes to working on conventions, none of this would be possible because we have all learned a lot in the process.
I have ruined myself.
So I am extremely grateful for these guys. So a round of applause for Thorgy and Havelock for sticking this thing out in the beginning. Now, a couple of the people that I want to mention is I have KL, who is in charge of our con ops. So KL, if you'd like to come up here. So when we started getting this thing rolling and we opened up pre-registration back in February, we were at our original hotel, which was let's go back to the very beginning, right? where the bad ideas were happening, right? Until we fixed them. So we started off as we were going to try to do this thing at Wonderland Mall of the Americas, and feedback was not so great. So we decided to upgrade to the Marriott, which was right across the highway from the mall. And when we upgraded to the Marriott, we opened up our registration, and the numbers started going crazy. And the Marriott saw that. They were like, you guys have got to move on down the road. You're getting way too big for us. So after some running around like chickens with their heads cut off, we found the old Tropicano, and Havelock had a friend that was in the venue locating industry here in San Antonio, and that was how we found this place. And right after that, when we saw our numbers getting really big, we started thinking, okay, we need to start hiring some staff. KL was one of our first interviews, and he has stuck this thing out with us since March, I believe. May. And on that night, though, we had Path, which I am also thankful for. He sent a lot of... Quiet, Path.
No, you shut up.
So Path sent a bunch of people toward us, and KL here was our first pick for convention operations. After doing some interviews, his knowledge in convention operations is profound. But he knows pretty much everything there needs to know. So if you guys ever have any questions, lost and found, convention operations related, please find KL. He'll help you out. So with that, he is the sheriff, as you guys can see. So a big round of applause for KL. KL, thank you very much for sticking on the stage. KL's got to get going because he's got some other stuff that he's got to do. But man, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And a couple other people that I would like to mention that we picked up on staff that same night. We picked up Vicky, who is our volunteer lead. She is now our convention mom. It seems to be that, when she talks, people turn and start looking to see who's talking. Because she's got a very authoritative motherly voice, if that makes any sense. Next up we have, let's see here, this writing is very small. So Lyle was us. I remember this. So originally, before we dwindled down to just 3 of us, we had a gentleman on our staff that set up an interview with a guy we wanted to hire for human resources. And I remember driving over to Easy's Pizza off of San Pedro to meet with this guy, and didn't really know what to expect. But after sitting down and talking to him for a few minutes, the guy seemed to have a lot of experience when it came to human resources. So bringing him on board has been very beneficial, especially when it comes to delegating some responsibilities and figuring out who needs to be where and when he was working in conjunction with our ConOps guy, KL. So without him, again, some of this stuff may have never happened. Next up, we have... Yes, Rasha. Oh, I didn't see you over there, man. I'm sorry. So Rasha and Lyle, if y'all can come over here. Apologize, I'm blind on this side, guys. So a big round of applause to Rasha and Lyle here.
Deputy.
So we have our deputy here, Rasha. He is KL's second in command. He was also one of the interviews that got sent toward us when we began this entire operation. Rasha is also somebody you can go to if you have any questions. He has a very good knowledge when it comes to convention operations, as well as ideas with scheduling and things like that. He should be able to point you in the right direction. So thank you guys for coming up. We appreciate it. So big round of applause for Lyle and Rasha. This is going terribly, isn't it? I think it's okay. But next up, some other people that we have hired on staff. We have Chris Bird, aka Flexi, aka Zipper. You may have seen him down in registration, working alongside as second in command with Forrest, or Scout, who is our lead in registration. And I have to tell you what, man, when this guy's like throwing me stuff on servers, and he has me like logging into it and becoming super user, I'm like, I don't want to be a super user. I don't know what I'm doing with that thing. I'm going to delete information, like get me off this thing. So trying to set me up and teach me how to use a server has been kind of fun. Now, I like computers, but I'm not, very tech savvy. So give me a cell phone, I might break it from dropping it because I'm always on it. But don't sit me in front of a server. So next up for our staff, let's see here. I got a long list, man. We hired, on that day though, when we got all those people sent over to us back in May, I think we had 12 interviews back to back. And I remember we were sitting in the living room of Lyle's house and the AC broke. And we were shoving like 15 bodies in this living room so that we can start doing interviews. So it's like, it's hot enough with, people that are in fursuit. When people that are not in fursuit. So I was like imagining when I was sitting there and I was listening to these interviews, I was like, God, what if they're all in fursuit right now? Like, how hot would that be? So it's kind of scary. And more people were showing up. And I remember Lyle cooking food in the kitchen and he was like bringing plates out to everybody to try to, I guess, compensate for the heat and the lack of AC. But busting out some fans, we all sat down, got our video monitor up, and we started taking interviews over the internet, doing the, what do you call it? Somebody help me here. Again, I don't know. Skype, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Skype's the limit.
Skype, there you go. So anyway, we're sitting down, we're interviewing, and we brought the other people on board, and after getting through all those interviews, I think it took us something like 4.5 hours to go through all of these interviews and get our staff put together. And immediately people just started going to work. And I started kind of getting like freaked out because everybody was doing stuff and I was like, what are y'all doing? So I had to like kind of run around and talk to everybody and start putting together all the information so I could start trying to standardize everything and make sure everything was getting delegated properly. And I'll tell you what, that was definitely a fun ride. So let's see, next up we have our webmaster, Tekrin. I don't know if he's here, I don't see him. He is here. Tekrin, come on up here, man. Yeah, big round of applause for Tekrin, guys. Sad story. Okay, not really sad. Actually, it's kind of uplifting. But I remember when I was sitting at work, I was dealing with this guy that was like trying to train me, and he was being really mean to me. And I was kind of sad. So I started talking to my friend Shane, and Shane was like, yeah, just ignore people like that and be an ambassador. And then out of nowhere, I get this message on Twitter, hey, do you guys need a webmaster? I was like, what's that? He's like, somebody to take care of your internet and stuff. You got anybody working on that? I was like, nope. I was like, you want to help? He was like, definitely. So I got this guy on board and got him going to town, and he's the creator of our website, guys. And with the little amount of resources that we've had and the amount of time that he's had, he's done an incredible job on not only getting the website up, but getting the convention master system for registration attached to it. And I think I gave you, what, like 12 days to get it all up?
You didn't give me time, that's the thing.
Yeah, I didn't give him any time. I was like, hey, we were supposed to have this thing released on February 1st, and I think it was January 18th or something like that. So with a little bit of finagling, man, he got it up, and we got that registration opened for you guys, and we started taking registrations. So without Chase, very vital function, a vital part in this thing. This thing is becoming a success. So again, a round of applause for Chase. Chase, thank you for coming up here. All right, and since we have him here, we have Tyler. He is literally our last addition. The last thing we were looking for was our photographer. We had been putting blasts out and sending out messages saying, hey, if anybody knows a photographer, let's see if we can get him over here. We need to get this guy working with our marketing guy. And he, out of nowhere, just messages me. And I think it was on Messenger, if I'm not mistaken. He's like, hey, do you guys need a photographer? I've got this and this and that. And he started listing all this equipment. I'm going like, I don't know what any of that means. Just bring it to the convention and use it. He's done one heck of a job. Not only has he been taking pictures, he's jumped on registration. He's been helping out there as well. So he's been helping get you guys pumped through that line as fast as we can, so we don't hold you guys up for all the events. So a round of applause for Tyler, man. All right. And what's funny is at the beginning of this thing, I didn't even introduce who I was. So, my name's Adam, aka Drummer, Convention Chair of Alamo City Furry Invasion. Welcome.
Hi.
All right, and we have one more gentleman I would like to introduce. Let me find him here. You know, going through all these names, I can't remember everybody. I feel terrible. What kind of a con chair is that? Let's see here.
It's normal.
It's normal. I'll ask Pat about it later. He'll probably go for me. Let's see. No, and I actually think we have marketing. So, marketing. We have Ace Squirrel. A lot of people here locally in San Antonio probably know who that is. We got him brought on board to help with our Twitter, our Facebook, as well as our YouTube live account and stuff like that. He is right there recording. I'd ask him to come up today, but he's got to make sure he keeps the camera rolling. So everybody, big round of applause for Ace Squirrel. There was a couple of other things I was told to cover at the last second, and they've gone out of my mind, so I don't know if I'll ever get over them or not. So I'll discuss them if I can remember. If anybody wants to tell me. Somebody come remind me, please. I'm dying up here. No, I'm kidding. One last two. We got Chaz. Chaz, we brought on board to do our convention book. We were commissioning out the art. Chaz, yes, come on up here. So we were commissioning out all the art. We did have somebody originally doing it, but they dropped out on us like at last second when this thing was going into production. It was supposed to be finished and got over to her, to the people who were supposed to actually make the con book. And she jumped on board, and like a boss, man, she went to town. She put that thing together, like I think within 15 days. Got it all organized. We went through as many edits as we could. Very little time, but I have to say a phenomenal job, Chaz, on getting that con book together as quick as you did to make this happen. So guys, really a big, big round of applause for Chaz. I was just reminded, food truck, guys. That was another thing. That's another thing that Chaz did for us. We were trying to get some extra food out here for you guys because we know the hotel was only able to provide so much concession. And some of the restaurants are a little bit of a walk, and trying to do that in Furst, we thought, no, probably not a good idea. So let's get a food truck. And we must have contacted 15 different organizations, none of which said they did it on the weekend, all of which said you had to like schedule it 3 months in advance. And I don't know how she did it, but she managed in 1 week to find a food truck, get them licensed and out in front of this hotel for you guys. So big round of applause again for Chaz. Thank you, Chaz. Now this last individual has been real fun to work with, and he's very sassy. And I do want to actually thank him a lot for the hard work he has done as hotel liaison, working with the hotel, as well as doing the panel room, as well as doing everything else. No, but as well as the panel room, scheduling the dealer's den and the artist alley, getting the layout done. I introduce you guys to Ramses. Ramses, do you have anything you want to say?
What's going on? It's been great working with y'all, great working with the hotel. Thanks to all staff. Adam, you know we've been craziness going on since February. Actually, since before that, we talked about it at TFF. We started talking about this.
Yeah, TFF.
Yep, and it's been great. Guys, I want to thank you all as well. I've had no complaints about anyone so far, so y'all continue to behave yourselves.
Appreciate that, Ramses. One last thing that Ramsey's has been working in conjunction with Co-Wolf is putting together a drag show that we heard was a great success over at TFF. So if you guys are definitely interested in that, get with Ramsey's. He can definitely tell you when that is scheduled.
That is tonight at 10 o'clock.
There you go, guys. 10 o'clock tonight here. It'll be after First Week Dance Competition. And that's going to be a fun one. So guys, check out the First Week Dance Competition. We do have some special guests that will be judging on the panel, which I believe now brings us to here. What's up? Parade route. Thank you very much. Yes, guys. So we've had some concern about the time allotted for the parade. The reason we gave it a 3-hour time period is we just wanted to make sure that we were able to get you guys organized and also leave enough time for some of you guys to get to other events afterwards. So we understand it may be a 3-hour block for the parade, but we shouldn't take up that entire 3 hours. We're looking at max an hour and a half. So this will give everybody time to get upstairs, take your fursuit off, cool off, especially for those in the fursuit dance competition, so that they can get back in suit, get back down here in time. So
That's awfully considerate of you.
the route, we try. So the route for the fursuit dance competition is going to start in Monte Cristo B, that's panel room B. When you're facing the panel rooms, it's the one on the left, right? So we're going to start there. The parade is going to gather in those panel rooms, all right? And we're going to do the photo. So once we get everybody corralled and everybody put together, Tyler here will snap a shot. And then we're going to have it organized by, was it Mary and Chase? Thank you. Mary and Chase will be the guys that you follow. So he will get you guys organized. When he exits panel room B, we're going to take a right. When you leave the panel room, you're going to head over to the section that goes outside very temporarily. And wrap around to the left. You'll come back in through the hospitality room. You'll go through the game room, through registration and exit. You'll wrap around the lobby, and then you'll end in Monte Cristo A. So just to give you guys an idea of the route, if you have any questions about that, see ConOps. They will make sure to route it out for you guys. Yes, in the con book. Thank you. Appreciate it. The map is in the con book, guys, as well as the parade route. So check it out there. Gotcha. Okay, so let's see where we're at. All right.
Judges?
And, sorry, last but not least, for our final staff member is I would like to introduce our friend Alex, who we have hired on for our security lead. And I have to say, Alex has done an incredible job. One that I am super impressed with, because when I first met the guy, I was like, what does he know about security? But obviously he knows more about it than I do, and has been doing a phenomenal job. So big round of applause for Alex. And while Alex is up here, he has a couple of things that he would like to go over with you guys.
A lot of boring stuff.
This is the part where we leave.
Well, I mean, when Adam first asked me to do this, he said, do you want to do a lot of hard work and do a lot of countless hours of it? And it sounded a lot like a job, but this I don't get paid for, so it's different.
It's manual labor.
Thanks. Okay, so some policies. So smoking, no smoking inside. That includes vaping, no but what ifs. So if you say, but what if, it probably means outside. There's designated spots by the koi pond, just anywhere that's not in the building. For your safety, all weapons need to be peace-tied. That will be at ConOps. If there's a drop in cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop from above.
Thank you, Alex, very much. Big round of applause for Alex, guys. Before we go on, I got a couple of shout-outs here that I'd like to make. Gophers, if you guys aren't aware. So we realize that walking distances here downtown can get kind of hot, so we have Gophers on site in the Artist Alley. And what Gophers does is, for a small fee, they will make runs for you guys. So if you forgot to pack a toothbrush, or if you got to pack some deodorant, find them. And what they will do is they will actually pack somebody in a car with your shopping list. They'll get it over. They'll pay for it themselves, come back, and then they'll collect the money back from you guys for the charge, as well as for the cost of whatever materials you would have them pick up. And on that note, the same people, Vicky Hoffman, our lead, aka Sock Monkey, she is the one who is also in charge of our volunteers. So if you would like to volunteer for the convention, please head on down there, sign up. When it comes to volunteering, we will give you guys credit for that. We'll log your hours. Those hours will be credited toward next year's registrations. As far as what you will receive is you can get up to a comped attendee level registration, depending on the hours that you're working. I believe it's 16 hours over the weekend. Doesn't have to be a single day. God, don't do 16s. I did that and it was terrible. But yes, you know, do little 2, 4, 6 hour shifts here and there. And over the weekend, you should be able to collect enough hours to either get a free t-shirt, maybe get some free swag, or get an attendee level membership. And as far as the t-shirts go, you can have one for this year if you want it now, if we have them available. Or if we sell out, then we'll definitely comp your t-shirt for the following year. Next, what about what? Double time hours, yes. So now I see what everybody can. So at TFF, I remember Storm always telling me, get people to show up for loading and offloading. Yes, and now I know why we offer double hours, because we need bodies. If you guys can help with the offloading or with setup. So anytime that we're moving stuff in the rooms, getting things set up for you guys to enjoy the convention, we will offer double time on the hours. So 1 hour equals 2 hours. And you can definitely rack up the hours real fast that way. And it kind of works out, especially in the mornings. You come in, you set up, takes you 2 to 4 hours. You automatically got 8 hours for that day, and you can enjoy the con for the rest of the day. And then do that the next day, and you got enough for a registration the following year. Woohoo. Let's see, and then we had to mention for pet tags. So, what happened with the pet tags, right? Everybody was asking about that. So we sent out an email, and I guess a lot of those emails must have gone to spam boxes because a lot of people didn't receive them. We apologize for that. But pet tags, our engraving machine broke down on us literally 2 weeks out before the convention. And when calling to find out how long it would take to get it shipped off, get the part, get it repaired, get it back, it was something like 3 months. And we were like, oh no, what do we do? But luckily, like literally within 24 hours, we were contacted by Fur Planet Productions. I'm sorry, I apologize. It was by Radio Comics. Radio Comics said, hey, would you guys like 600 comic books? And we're like, yes! So we actually replaced you guys' pet tags with the comic book. Now, more good news on top of that is we had a gentleman last night that approached me just as we were closing registration, said he had an engraver and he would like to offer his services. So as charity, this gentleman stayed up a little bit late last night engraving pet tags for you guys. We got about, I think, 150, or no, I'm sorry, we got 100 blue ones and 100 gold ones engraved. So, if you guys received the comic book and you would like to come back and trade that for your engraved pet tag, we're more than happy to accommodate that. You can do that down at ConOps. Don't show up the registration, please go to ConOps to have that trade done because we want to keep registration to a limit of people that are going through there. We don't want to clog it up. And, let's see here, before I continue, did we cover the smoking in designated areas? Okay. Good. Headless Lounge, thank you very much. So, for the Headless Lounge, guys, please be sure to hydrate often and head to the Headless Lounge. Try to do it about every 30 minutes. I know that some of us get in suit, splat, and we like to go like 14 hours straight without drinking any water or taking our head off. We're concerned for you guys' safety. We don't want anybody passing out. We understand here in San Antonio, the weather's a little bit more humid than people are used to. The weather's also a little bit hotter because, like, I'm sure up north it's probably snowing and it still feels like a desert down here. So be sure to stay cool, guys. Cool off often. No. What is it?
This is worse than the desert.
It's worse than a desert. Okay, it's a veritable desert. That's
We
worse
had
than
a lot
desert.
of fun in the desert. We had a lot of fun in the sand.
Exactly.
Where is sweet?
The Headless Lounge, thank you very much for the question. It is the Partagas Room, aka the Gallows, which is located next door to the Dealer's Den. Kind of catty corner across from the Bolivar rooms, which is where our video game room, board game room, and hospitality rooms are. So just across from that, somebody take that.
Where's Todd Sweet?
All right. It never stops, guys. I'm sure my radio's going nuts, and I get the earpiece out. But Consuite. So Consuite Hospitality Room is in Bolivar C. When you go down these elevators, it's the first room that you see around the corner. It is connected to the game rooms, the video game room and the board game room. And in there, we are handing out snacks and drinks to you guys. So stay hydrated. Take advantage of it, man. We're giving it out to you guys. So go down there and, well, don't knock it out too fast. We want to make sure everybody gets some. No, but when it comes to the cups that you're issued out there, guys, please try to be sure to put them in the receptacles. Don't leave them laying out. Just dispose of them properly as best you can. We don't want to dirty this place up too bad. The hotel was gracious enough to allow us to throw this event. We're happy for that. And the Alamo, thank you. Why don't you guys just hold up some cue card? No, I'm just kidding. So the Alamo, guys, so check it out. I know that a lot of you here may probably want to go see the Alamo. Please bear in mind that it is a federal restricted property. So don't have your fursuit head on if you step up the curb. They won't come tackle you or nothing like that, but they're definitely going to approach you, and it's very they get in your face, get out of here. They'll push you off. Not push you off, but they'll kind of rush you away, to get you off the property. So if you're going to step on the property, be sure to take your fursuit head off. Otherwise, some genuine Texas Rangers will approach you and ask you to step off the property.
24 hours.
That is 24 hours, exactly. So don't think you can sneak over there on a night. Don't be Ozzy Osbourne.
What's your business? What's your business? Are you a stranger?
So make sure you take your fursuit head off if you're going to step foot onto the Alamo property. However, in front of the property, you can get some good shots. You don't have to actually get up on the property. People have enough room to pan back far enough to snap photos with the Alamo in the background for you guys. Now, my attention was torn away from that. So there was one last thing I wanted to cover before we move on. Maybe it'll come back to me. So, now, as we continue here, okay, hang on one second, I know what it was. Registration. So, some people wanted us to mention our numbers, just to give you an idea of what we were expecting. So, brief history again. In the beginning, we tried to start off in Crossroads Mall. The idea was just to basically fill it up full of vendors, have you guys kind of suit, because it was a real friendly place. As I went down there a couple of times myself in suit, people just loved it. They throw other types of conventions down there, like MonsterCon, that has a lot of cosplay. And I saw that people were really enjoying themselves. And one of the members were like, yeah, we should try it here. Let's see what happens. But the response wasn't very good, so we moved on to the Marriott. And originally, we projected 120 people would show up. So when we got those numbers started going up, we did upgrade eventually to the El Tropicano Hotel, and now we're worried we're going to fill this one up. So parking, guys, just to let y'all know, parking across the street is $10 a day, and then also parking meters after 6 p.m. is free. So you don't have to pay the parking meters after 6 p.m. Now, pre-reg, just to go over the numbers here, super sponsor, and these numbers were as of 2 days before the convention started. Super sponsors, we closed with 41 super sponsor registrations, so thank you guys for that. There's definitely a lot of support there. And along with the sponsors, we closed with 79 registrations. If we want to check our numbers, I believe we still have 6 super sponsors left, as well as 20 super sponsors left. 6 super sponsors and 20 sponsors left to go with those numbers. And our attending closed at 420. And that was definitely a number that was a lot more than we expected. Like I said, we only invited 200 of you guys, so I don't know why you brought all your friends. We said just minors, we actually registered what we show is 35 minors. And that's quite a bit, man. So we're trying to become more family friendly here in the fandom and keep it more PG-13. So please guys keep that in mind, that people are here with their children, and we want to be mindful of that. Make sure that we're not disrespecting anybody's surroundings and not doing anything we shouldn't be. And supporting registrations, meaning people who just wanted to help support the convention. We'll be mailing out their convention books in the future, but we had 12 of those that came in. So we'll definitely make sure we get those out to those people. We had 16 staff registrations, and 36 staff registrations, which I believe our staff is now at 44, so we need to get that corrected. And then we have 14 lifetime registrations. And lifetime registrations, for those who didn't know, we had 2 different levels of registration. We had lifetime attendee, which we had 12 available, one of which will be auctioned off at the end of closing ceremonies. So please keep an eye out on your badge number. If you look on the bottom right-hand corner of your badge, there is a number there. So that number will be put into a pool and randomly drawn, and whoever is drawn will be our winner of the last remaining lifetime attendee level badge. Now, that drawing goes to anybody who purchased a super sponsor or sponsor. Also, we will have available at the ConOp store, if you want to make donations to our charity, we will enter you into the drawing. So please keep in mind that that is available. And then, total registration. Yes, thank you, we'll get to that. So total registration was 585 total pre-registrations that were paid, and then 152 unpaid registrations. So for a total of 637 registrations that we closed with before kickoff as of September 25th. So those numbers were extremely high, and we were extremely proud of that. So again, I'd like everybody to give one last round of applause for our staff for such a job well done on making this come together. Thank you guys very much. All right, so next up, we're going to have some guests of honor. Now, I remember I was driving up to Colorado in my little 2007 Toyota Camry. Hyundai was my first car, so I'm a gas saver. It's a hybrid vehicle, but anyway, driving up to Colorado with my friend Chris, we were heading up there to purchase some registration equipment, which is the fine equipment that you see down in our registration department, shoving all this stuff into my back seat and in the trunk and driving it back down. But while I was up there, somebody got me a message saying, hey, what if I got somebody to call you? Would you be willing to offer them a guest of honor spot? And I was like, who is it? And then when they told me, I won't lie, when I was sitting at a Denny's waiting for this person to call me, I was so freaking nervous. I didn't know how I was going to talk to him. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to say something stupid, or he's going to hate me. Something's just not going to go right. But without much ado, I'd like to introduce to you guys the squeakiest of squirrels. We have Omnom. Yes, sir. Get on up here.
Come on down!
So, just a couple things, Omnom. Tell us what led up to the events of you contacting us.
Oh, that doesn't work. I don't know. Hi. How are you guys?
Doing well.
So, how many of you guys live here? How do you deal with this humidity? I like walk outside and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like,
we stay
it's so hot.
we stay inside.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, everybody's like, oh, Phoenix is so hot, and then we came out here and we got off the airplane and I'm like, I'm melting. This is so bad. So wait, was I supposed to be answering a question?
So I'm trying to get this microphone working for you. We'll get somebody to work on that in a second. We'll do it. Ready?
Do you need a buddy?
Does that one work?
Yes.
Okay, testing 1, 2.
Okay.
Voice projects. So, anyway, so the question was, like, so what led up to the events of you contacting me when I was sitting in that Denny's?
You messaged me on Facebook.
I did! I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or Telegram or something, I don't know. So how did you get here? Well, you messaged me.
Maybe I did. I just don't remember that. I do so many things. But I remember somebody at TFF said that they were going to approach you and ask you if you would contact me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, real quick, can I just say one important thing?
Sure.
Shut up, Path.
Quiet, peasant!
So I sing for a band, and we played at TFF. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, were you there? Yeah. Okay. We played at TFF, and at our concert, I think, or something, somebody mentioned this convention out here, and I was like, oh, that's a thing. Where is San Antonio? Because I don't know that I've ever been there or seen it. And then, then he messaged me on Facebook, and that's the end of that. That's kind of how that went.
So after speaking with Omnom, he graciously accepted the offer, which I was super excited about, and immediately I started contacting him. He was like, hey, start creating an ad and put this up on the website. Omnom's going to be there. And everybody got crazy. So with that being said, also the next question that a lot of people have wanted to know is, why a flying squirrel?
So I know I don't look like it, but I fly airplanes for a living, so that's kind of what I do. I'm a pilot for a living, so I went with the flying squirrel just because I had no better idea than what to do.
Could you join Tom Cruise in Top Gun?
No, because I'm not very good at beach volleyball scenes. So. Yeah.
Do you whistle when you fly?
Do I whistle when I fly? Oh, like that.
Yeah, we don't want
I'm
that.
crashing. That happens a lot.
Great. So next thing that some of us have wanted to know is, what is your favorite thing about the fandom?
Everything.
Everything.
I'm one of those people that I really, really, genuinely love this fandom with my whole heart. Like, I met my fiance Splat here, which is right there, guys. Like, if you guys don't know Splat, yeah. Met my fiance Splat through. Yes, come get my baby. So this fandom literally has saved in my life in more than one way. Like the family, the love. It got me to my fiance, which is the love of my life. I met one of my best friends ever, who's probably going to be brought up here in a minute. Telephone's a jerk. You guys just don't know that. But like seriously, there's been no community in my whole life that has ever been more welcoming and loving and accepting, than this fandom. And it's the best thing ever. It's a big family, and that's the best thing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah.
And with the bird over there, the angel dragon. So some of us are curious. What is this rivalry that seems to be going on between you two?
Between me and telephone?
Yeah, what is that? There we go. So, it's without words. Well, I really do appreciate that. So let's see.
Okay. Oh, I gotta mention a thing. Can I mention the okay?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, have any of you guys ever heard of "Don't Touch the Door"?
Nope.
No. Don't touch.
Unfortunately.
None of you guys went to MFF, I'm guessing. So, I was standing out front, and just to personify how much of a jerk telephone is, I was standing outside, and this big bus went behind me that had this big okay symbol on the side, and Ina looks down and she's like, "Hey, I'm Nom," and I'm like, "What?" And she goes, and I didn't know what that was. So all of a sudden I'm just getting punched outside of the thing because there's this giant bus with the big OK symbol on the back of it. So what we're trying to do is get anybody that posts pictures to do the hashtag OK thing. And then you can punch them. I think that's how that works. I'm not entirely sure. Is that how that works?
Okay.
Oh, you just okay the whole
You
room?
could just...
Let's make sure to keep your giant fluffy paws on.
Yeah.
Let me explain that a little bit. This is a game a lot of Seattle Furs know. And it's this. And if someone looks, you have to get them to look. You punch them. Or he can get away with it if I do this and he's fast enough to stick his finger in the hole and break the hole. So, congrats.
So what you're telling me is it's like the Seattle equivalent of this?
That's a tell.
It's an excuse for telephone to beat people up. That's what that is. That's all it boils down to.
But I just have to say, one thing that I am really grateful for is the entire experience that I have had with Omnom. He has literally been one of the most genuine people I've ever worked with. He's always been very kind, very encouraging, very uplifting, as well as somebody that I can always talk to whenever something's going wrong in my life. He's been a great confidant.
Is he your new is he
Yes,
your
very
furry
much so.
therapist now?
Basically, yeah, I needed one.
Like the furry
So I chose
Dr.
Omnom.
Phil.
But I think I speak for everyone else that everybody here is probably truly grateful that you're here, and we're very glad that you came. We thank you very much for your service.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys.
You're one of my favorite fursuiters.
Love you, man.
You're one of my favorite fursuiters. Can I get a hug?
All right. So, now this next individual, I won't lie, I was extremely nervous to talk to. But luckily, we didn't have to do it on the phone. So it was a little bit easier, it went a little bit smoother. I tend to write better than I speak. But I remember getting a message from Sky Pro Fursuits. And I was like, oh my god, this is who I think it is. And she was saying, hey, so I hear that Omnom's going to be coming to your convention and you're looking for another guest of honor. And I was like, yes, we definitely are. Are you interested? And she said, absolutely, I would be more than happy to come down to this convention. And we definitely started getting her on board with this. And I have to say that oh my god, I'm really nervous again because she's about to come up here. So, but the response to the community was really high, and I was truly grateful for it, especially when she shared the post that she was coming. So when we got her posted up there, the response was amazing. And I would like to introduce to you guys the chirpiest of dragons that probably anybody has ever known. We have Telephone. Telephone?
Hey, bring out your angel dragon, stand up.
Are you nervous? Oh God, okay. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and give you this microphone.
Thank you. So, I heard about this convention actually through Omnom. You know, he had told me about it. He's like, hey, you know, maybe you'd be a good guest and everything. And I'm not entirely sure how that went about, but I know that here I am. So, hi. How are you guys?
Say hi to Omnom, guys. A big round of applause for Telephone. So, just as we had some questions for Omnom, we've also got a couple of questions for you. Everyone wants to know. Oh, let's see here. That didn't happen.
Nothing.
You're done. No. So, same question we have as the first one. So, what is your favorite thing about the furry family?
I'd say art. The art in the community. How clever everybody is. The originality. And the fun that people have with it. It's a very nice, kind community that I've just found a very large interest in, especially when it comes to the artwork and just being a crafter myself.
Any particular type of art?
Really any. Mainly fursuits.
Mainly fursuits.
Yeah, I'm very into the costumes and stuff. It's an interesting art to be able to wear something that you sculpt from hand and then turn into a character and a creature.
Nice.
Also very silly people.
Yep.
There you go. So, what inspired you to come up with the Angel Dragon?
You know, that's been something that's grown for, goodness, years now. It started off with Telephone, then there's a lot of interest in it, and a lot of people were like, hey, can I make a character like this? What species is this? Because it was one of those things where no one really knew what it was, and then that's when we decided to start Dutch Angel Dragons. So now it's grown into a community of, I think we have 10,000 within our Facebook group.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Horse lizard.
That is amazing.
Horse
lizard.
Horse lizard.
It's the best way to describe them, yeah, pretty much.
Oh my goodness. Another question that we had for you is the chirp. How did you come up with that?
So you can actually thank my friends AJ, or not AJ, Jesus, CJ and Carly, or Phoenix Wolf and Autumn Paulings. When they first surprised me with Telephone at MFF 2011, I believe, the complete bodysuit, they gave me a squeaker, and they're like, hey, we just found out how to do these. And we were doing it wrong, of course. We cut it out of dog squeaker, like toys. And we went around and we were absolutely annoying and obnoxious. I fell in love with it for some reason. I felt like it was an extension of my character in a way where I didn't have to talk, or I didn't have to be like awkwardly muted or something. Some people can pull that off.
You're still obnoxious.
I know, I'm still
She's a good obnoxious shut your trap.
But I have fun with it. But that kind of pushed me to look more into what I can do with using a tool to use different sounds, like to vocalize. So I ended up figuring out that you can make handcrafted calls, and that's what I have now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to want to answer this question, but we're going to ask it anyway. No, I'm kidding. It's not that serious. So some people want to know, do you wear your fursuit to like public or to other events other than furry convention?
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few events that we do outside of furry conventions and stuff. Or sometimes I just go on fursuit outings and everything. There's one that we do. It's one of my favorites. Is we do an event for orphans, children orphans, Arizona Child Crisis. We bring Telephone out and a couple of other suitors, and we go kind of make this Christmas event for kids that usually don't get to celebrate Christmas, that don't have families. And
They have a fire truck.
yeah, we have fire truck. We have Santa that comes out, lots of characters, and it's great to be a
Do you
part
have
of
a name
that.
for that charity?
Yes, Arizona Child Crisis.
Arizona Child Crisis. Wow, that's freaking awesome. Well, hey, round of applause for Telephone for doing such a wonderful thing. last question that we have, and actually we need to get Omnom back up here for a second. So, are you running a panel here at the convention today?
Yes. Multiple panels.
Awesome. So, can you give us a little detail rundown on when those are and what they are?
If I had my schedule in front of me, I could.
Sorry.
I know that I'm doing the Dutch Angel Dragon Q&A for Sitting 101. We're going to be doing guest dinner.
Yes, the guest of honor dinner.
Guest of honor dinner. Judging the dance competition.
I don't dance.
Well, he does, but you don't want to see it, trust me. Unless he's in suit. Okay, and what about you, Omnom? Are you doing a panel as well?
I'm doing Splat, myself, and Eno are all doing the Fursuiting 101 panel. And so if you guys have questions about veteran fursuiters, new fursuiters, whatever, if you want to know a little bit about kind of what we do, or if you want to talk about what you do, or give advice, or anything like that, or get advice, or whatever, come to that. I think it's here, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
No, in this room?
Yes, we're giving you this room.
Yeah, so we're going to be in the big room with stuff.
What time?
I have no idea.
Check your schedule books, guys. It's in the schedule book. Check your con book.
I think it's tomorrow,
you can also
right?
get it online at furryinvasion.org under the attend tab.
You just didn't break it. Neither did
We
I.
call these improv scripts.
Yeah. So yeah, come here, come hang out with us. If you're in fursuit or whatever, we might bring you up as a prop or whatever, or make you stand in the corner, something like that. It'll be great. And then I'll probably come to the Dutchie panel. Hang out there. Karaoke. Ooh, yeah. So me and Splat are going to be doing some singing stuff at the karaoke thing after the guest of honor dinner. I'm going to be doing NSYNC. So it'll be fun. Yeah. And then we're doing the secret one. No, I'm doing Bye Bye Bye.
Oh.
It's going to be great. Yeah. Path, you should come. Come sing with me. Do NSYNC with me.
Yeah,
Who
do
wants
it.
Path to do
I'm gonna
NSYNC
do
with me?
Yes!
Yeah, guys.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. I'm sure I speak for everyone, guys. We're glad you're here at Telephone. Thank you so much for coming out and making the event. Everybody is definitely glad to see you. I saw the raving crowd that you drew into the registration yesterday. That was awesome. So round of applause, guys, for Telephone. So, yes, please. Well, actually, I'm going to bring you up here in just a second. So, last person I'd like to introduce. This guest of honor is a bit of a party animal. I'm not going to lie. When I first met her, was at TFF. No, actually, first time I met her was at Texas Renaissance Fair. And I was intimidated by her. I thought she was going to be like a mom and start yelling at me or something. So I just kind of stayed away. I was like, I don't know what was wrong. There's something going on. But don't let her innocence fool you guys, because her crude humor and her chipper attitude is definitely a recipe for charisma. And after talking with her for a little while, I got to know her, and she ended up being one of the kindest, sweetest, most outgoing people I've ever met. And her art is probably my favorite when it comes to chibi. She does incredible art. And without much ado, I'd like to introduce you guys Thorgy. So, tell us why you're here.
Because you made me.
Yeah, it's true, because I kept saying, please, I want you to be a guest of honor. Just be the guest of honor. I want you to do our convention art. That's all I wanted. I just wanted free art. Just kidding. No, I absolutely love her chibi art. She actually was the one who drew up the original flyer that was on the website with the little chibi sheriff that's sitting out front with the raccoon running from the bank with the bag of money. And I just thought it was absolutely adorable, and immediately I turned it into a flyer and we posted it up on the website and we opened registration. So thank you for that. So, a couple other questions, same with you. Let's see, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm human. I draw things. Sometimes I paint things.
What do you paint?
Animals.
All right.
Furry garbage. I'll take this. Hi.
All right, and what is your favorite kind of art to draw?
Chibi art. But I draw just about anything.
What about to buy?
I would yell chibi art.
Definitely love the chibi. Are you going to be doing something like that?
Not today. But tomorrow I'm doing one about making art dolls. It's somewhere from 10 to noon. I don't remember.
Right good. So check out your schedules in the convention book. We do have the schedules up. This will be Thorny. She'll be hosting the the doll building panel. And I have to admit, she's the one that came up with a concept that I thought was extremely cool. It was these little shoulder pads that you connect to your shoulder.
Yeah, there's a magnet on the inside and a magnet on the outside, and it just sits on your shoulder.
Yeah.
If you don't jump around too much, they don't fall.
Yeah, don't bounce around like on or splat. You won't be able to keep it on. All right, and let's see here. So tell us about Thorgy. Where did Thorgy come from?
Well, Thorgy was actually a suit made by Razzie Lee that somebody was selling secondhand, and my name is kind of like, I was watching the Avengers and Thor was on. I was like, oh, well, you know, Corgi, Thorgy, there you go. I actually have a shirt that says, I am the mighty Thorgy. They love me so much they made a shirt of me.
There you go. Well, thank you very much. So, let's see here. So when you were asked to be guest of honor after the 5th time, what was your reaction?
I guess, if you'll stop asking me.
Finally got her. No, we do appreciate that. So please, guys, a round of applause for our guest of honor, Thorgy here. She is in the dealer's den. She will be selling her art, her badges, as well as a fursuit, which I thought was one of the most adorable chibi fursuits I've seen in a while. I think we named him Candy Corn.
Yeah, it's based off of Halloween candy because I love Halloween candy. People might not like candy corn, but I eat it like crack, so.
Excellent.
It's a good way to bribe me.
So, again, guys, the guest of honor dinner with all 3 of our guests of honor, Thorgy, as well as Omnom and Telephone. You can join us down at the Mangoes restaurant between 7:30 and 9. Again, one of those things, we left a little bit of extra time to give people time to get down, sit down, to eat some food, enjoy some conversation, a little bit of fellowship, and then have enough time to be able to go do other things that they want to do. So please, if you are a super sponsor, just be down at the Mangoes restaurant downstairs in the lobby, across from the Artist Alley. At 7:30, and we'll start getting you guys seated so we can get you fed. Woo. All right, so thank you very much, Thorgy. Round of applause, guys. All right. Now, we have one last individual I'd like to introduce. I have to say, I remember I was running on the treadmill when this guy called me. I was breathing all heavy, and he started talking, and I didn't know who he was. I don't think he told me who he was, or maybe he did, and I didn't hear it. And he just started telling me all these things like, hey, check this out, you gotta try this, and this is what's gonna help. He just started throwing all of this extremely valuable knowledge that was coming really handy to me for trying to get this convention going for you guys. So without him and without his experience as well as his counsel, a lot of this may not have been possible. So I would like to definitely introduce you guys and thank Pat Hyena.
Did you guys notice that the Headless Lounge is called the Gallows? That's super dark.
I didn't come over. Blame Alex for
That's
that.
so dark. The other kind of maverick thing you guys did was call it the Furry Invasion.
Yeah.
Like, that's not scare the hotel or the city or, like, you know, just some things I would have done a little bit differently. But, yeah, no, I lived in San Antonio for 27 years. I was raised here, I was born here. I saw a lot of you guys born here, but that's the first memories I have. California before that, but that's once you moved to Texas, California is a distant memory, right? That's just so weird. But there you go, someone from California, right? Or Texas, whatever. So 27 years in this city, and I'll tell you that there wasn't a very large furry community. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It was just, you know, the city closes at like 8 o'clock because like it's run by old people, right? There's neon everywhere, the neon's fading, there's not a lot of money, you're working at telemarketing agencies, you might go to UTSA, San Antonio College. It's grown so much since then, and the furry community has gotten much larger. How many people is this your first con? Raise your hand if this is your first con. That's amazing, and it's because the con came to you, right? It's because there's something local to you. So 9 years ago, I drove from San Antonio to Dallas for my first furry convention, which was heavily run by this guy right here and several other folks that were very dedicated that put that time in, and it's crazy. It's hard to start a con. That's a mess. And it's weird now because it's almost been a decade and I'm driving from Dallas, where I now live, down to San Antonio to come to this first con. So Alamo City Furry Invasion. So look around you and take this moment in, because this is the first opening ceremonies of the first year of a con in San Antonio, right? You'll have several more years, probably beginning of an institution. And I remember the first year of Furry Fiesta, and we look on it fondly, and it's a very different feel now than it was. But take it in. This is history you're making here. I remember I called this guy. He was out of breath. He had no idea what he was doing. It was great. He wanted to start a con. All I had was no money and enthusiasm. A lot of enthusiasm and a belief that we can do this. And I asked him, well, how many staffers do you have? And he's like, well, that's a funny thing. I don't have staffers. Oh. And then we just started talking. We've been talking on and off. And this whole thing, let me tell you, because my name is Pat, by the way. I ran Furry Fiesta for 5 years. And I volunteered there for quite a while after that. Furry Fiesta, yay!
Big round of applause, guys.
Don't worry about it. All right, but so I gave this guy a lot of counsel over the year. We connected him with a lot of people, and he just got smarter. And of course, now he's dangerous because he knows enough that he stops listening to us, which is great. But I do want to know, like, it's not about competition. That's why we help each other. We're all trying to build a community here, and we're stealing all your staffers. So thank you for that, for training them up for us. I don't know. This is special to me because, again, this is my hometown. We had maybe like a fur meet every month or 3, and now you're going to have a community. This starts building up everything. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Thank you, drummer. Yes. Thank you. You built a con. You did it. You did it, buddy.
Congratulations!
Thank you, Brian.
Have a good time with Alamo City for Invasion. I still would have named differently. It sounds so violent.
I'm sorry.
It's water.
Yeah, I'm getting dry mouth up here. Thank you very much, Pat. Round of applause for Pat, guys. All right. Ross, shall we take this for me? Thank you, sir. All right. So just a few quick things to kind of wrap up here. Let's see here. So our charity, Pets Alive, San Antonio Pets Alive, which is a local charity here in San Antonio. After many phone calls and literally like 6 months of research, we chose this charity because we love how it is trying to literally reduce animal homelessness to 0. So we're very proud of that charity. I'm picking this one to donate to. So please take a look, check out our charity donation stations. We will have some suitors walking around with some buckets, as well as a lasso game going on down in the Artist Alley. You will get some prizes for your donations to play the game. Also, the con store will be selling leftover swag and donating most of that to the charity as well. So we're looking to raise as much funds as we can for these guys and get it over to them. Unfortunately, they did not have a representative this year because they were a little packed, and I asked them kind of at last minute, but they are definitely looking forward to trying to be here in year 2. So we hope to have them guys. Let's see here. My phone keeps resetting to the beginning, and I gotta scroll through again. Okay. Let's see here. We did Conquest, guys. Try to remember to stay clean. What is it? The 6-2-1 rule. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, stay hydrated, and 1 bath a day, please. Stay clean. Use hand sanitizer. We do have it set up in the registration area for when you go through registration. Let's see here. Fursuit dance competition will be here in the Romeo and Juliet ballroom. I believe it starts at. Look at your schedules and your con books as well as online furryinvasion.org wherever you attend. Fursuit dance competition will be here as well as being judged by Cole himself, our guest of honor, and a couple of other people. Let's see here. If you lose your con book, guys, we apologize because of the high numbers. We had all of our con books sell out in pre-registration. So if you lose one and you need to check schedules, online, furryinvasion.org, under the attend tab. And let's see here. So, without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you our good sheriff of our town, Dusty Don Holiday. Not only is he the finest law dog on this side of this bean, he's also a fine gentleman in his own right. And now I believe you have a few words that you wanted to say. Sheriff Dusty Don Holiday, so I believe that you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, I do. I got a prepared statement here. Citizens and visitors, I know the last few weeks have been trying and concerning. I can assure you that we have taken all the steps necessary to ensure that this year's Fur Antonio Trail Rodeo and Festival be safe and enjoyable for everybody. Just for this reason, I brought in our own group of the finest tin platters around. Not only will they ensure that we have a safe and fun weekend, but also nice and good, great guys.
The door closed on him. These guys are supposed to keep us safe.
Speak for yourself, sir. Damn.
Oh, no. Who is this?
What's the meaning of this? Smith Bond says, don't you see the red mask gang when you see it? Who let you in the city limits? Never you mind that. The point is, we're here. And by the time the weekend is over, you will never forget the names of May Bond and the red mask dog? Gang, sorry. Where's your leader in all this? Mr. Billy Quinn. Long from here. And you should be more afraid of what's right behind you. And that's just a taste of what's to come. Y'all be warned, the Red Mask Gang is in town.
Kill him? All right, so thank you guys. Now, I don't even know where to begin with that. So, as you can see, we just put on a performance for you guys. So one of the features we'd like to introduce here at the Alamo City Furry Invasion is an interactive narrative that we will be performing throughout the convention. So please keep an eye out for some of these performances. I can't tell you exactly where they will be staged, but I can promise you that they will be surprises throughout the convention. If you have not, please check out in the con book the storyline. the storyline for the interactive narrative so that you know who our characters are. Limited posters available for this year. So just a little bit more on that is throughout the convention years we're going to have a timeline that is going to be a continuing saga with all of these plays. So please keep an eye out for those. I can tell you that they will be in all of the con space areas. And just listen and look out for them. If you have any questions, you can always talk to ConOps Kale and ConOps, who is also our lead in production, who can answer any questions that you have. Now, without much further ado, and with that being said, this concludes our opening ceremony. And the convention is now open to you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you again very much for your love and your support and for coming out. We will definitely see you guys around. Y'all have a wonderful day.